Good morning students. How are you all? Welcome back. Let us start our next video. I hope you are all fine. You are enjoying by watching my lessons in the form of videos. So don't forget to watch continuation of the lesson and revise the question and answers. In that, frame your own question and answers. Understand the concept what I discussed in the videos. I hope you are doing well. Okay, so this is the best time you can utilize our experience and explanation of different lessons by making pause and understanding the videos. So I hope you are going through that. Now let us start our next part of the lesson, that is respiration. Now we are discussing. So respiration, in the respiration, what I taught to you in the respiration, what is respiration, what is breathing, what is inhalation, what is exhalation, and how do we breathe, how much time in 1 minute, how many breaths we can take, what happens to our chest cavity when once we breathe and release. These are all the experiments I shown you in the form of lesson on the board, isn't it? And also I talked about different scientists who given this oxygen and carbon dioxide gases, isn't it? Joseph Black, Presley and von Helmont, Lavoisier, these are the different scientists have mentioned the importance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the air, even though air is a mixture of gases, isn't it? Now, and also I taught to you that how does breathing takes place in different animals. In the last 2 or 3 videos, I have given you the information on how does fish breathe. How does fish breathe? Yes, with the help of gills, isn't it? And how does frog breathe? With the help of skin and lungs, isn't it? Frog is called as amphibian, both it can live on land and in water, isn't it? How does earthworm breathe? Earthworm breathes through its moist skin, absorbs the oxygen, and exchange of gases takes place through the minute holes present on its moist skin, isn't it? And what more we discussed? Yes, cockroach. How does cockroach, insecta, class, grasshoppers, cockroaches, these insects, how do they breathe? With tracheal tubes, tracheal trunk. In this trachea, there will be minute small holes. Those are called as spiracles, isn't it? So I shown you how the way of exchange of gases takes place in the grasshopper and cockroach, isn't it? Now, after learning all these parts and concepts, respiration in animals, we have got the concept now. Don't you have thought that how does respiration takes place in plants? Let us start. Respiration in plants. So respiration in organisms, the lesson. In that organisms, how does the human beings breathe? How does the animals breathe? We have learned. Now let us see the respiration. How does the respiration takes place in plants? Yes, plants also living organisms, isn't it? Plants also living organisms. Now, do they have particular nose, particular lungs, particular respiratory system like us and animals? No. How does they breathe? Yes, inside the leaf there are small holes with the guard cells, kidney shaped guard cells called as stomata, isn't it? Through the stomata, and I told you in the beginning, through the lenticels, isn't it? Through all over the body, through the stem and roots, through roots, stem and leaves. On the stem and bark, these lenticels are present. Under the side, beneath the, underneath the leaf, there will be small holes, stomata. Exchange of gases takes place, and through root hairs, also exchange of gases takes place. First of all, what does plant take and what does plant give? Up to now, you have learned the process of photosynthesis in first lesson. Plants is having habit of giving carbon dioxide, taking oxygen. But how do they respire? Respire means taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. It is somewhat different from plants and animals, isn't it? Now let us see that plants also as living organisms, they will also take oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, like us, like plants, like animals, and like us. How do they do? When do they do? During the photosynthesis, respiration rate will be less. So when does photosynthesis happens? Photosynthesis needs, the process of photosynthesis needs sunlight, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and water, we know, isn't it? So during the daytime, plants undergo photosynthesis, and during the night time, plants undergo respiration process. During the night time, plants undergo respiration. First, photosynthesis, and during night time, plants undergo respiration. Understand? Now, yes, as plant is a living organism, it is the source for all the living beings to get the food materials, isn't it? So, they are the sources for us to provide us plenty of food materials which make us to live like this, isn't it? So, definitely they should also have the life. They are also the living organisms. They must also undergo the process of respiration, digestion, circulation and everything like us, isn't it? So apart from all those, today let us see how does the plants respire. I'll show you. Okay. So as I said in the beginning, plants undergo the exchange of gases through the stomata, lenticels and small root hairs on the roots, isn't it? Now let us prove that how does a plant exchange its gases? How does plants undergo respiration? Okay. Now with a small experiment, I want to show this respiration in plants. For that you must you must have some apparatus. Let us perform the experiment of respiration in plants. Okay. Now, so what is the aim? To observe the process of respiration. Process of exchange of gases. Process of exchange of gases in plants. Now, as I said that, I will show you that how does plants respire. How does they take oxygen and they give carbon dioxide. Okay. Now let us see aim. Apparatus. What is that? Apparatus. conical flask, what you should need, conical flask, test tube, water, some flowers or small rooted tender plants, understand, and two two glass tubes, cork, etc. Okay, so we are observing the process of exchange of gases, respiration in plants. Okay, are you interested? Yes, I was very much eager to explain you, to make you to understand, to know about the respiration. You can also do at your home with whatever whatever available to prove this experiment. Okay, let me explain. So this is the aim. These are the apparatus. Now bring some small tender plants. Bring some small tender rooted plants. Do one thing. In your house, outside, your mother will be growing some potted plants, isn't it? So observe in that pot. Take weed plants will be there. Some tender rooted you must have root, stem and leaves for that plants, isn't it? So you can pluck them out. Those are called weeds, which are not important as our regular plant, because weeds have no flowering. So you can do this experiment with that plants. Okay. So this much small tender plants or flowers, instead of flowers you can keep this small rooted tender plants. So let us see, collect those and keep with you. Okay. Now let us start the procedure by drawing the diagram. I will explain the procedure now. Now what I know, the respiration in plants. Now we have got the apparatus, isn't it? We have got the determined the respiration, and we have got the apparatus. Now what is the procedure? Let us see. What is the procedure? What is the procedure of observing? First take conical flask. It's a glass vessel like a triangle. Conical flask. Understand? Now in that, the mouth of the conical flask, you must fit the cord, rubber cord. Before that fitting this rubber cord, split 2 holes to the rubber cord and insert 2 glass tubes. Okay. So before fitting this rubber cord, you should not fit soon, because if it is fitted with the rubber cord, of course if you can take out, no problem. Now you must have some flowers. You must add some flowers into the conical flask. Okay. Now what are these? The flowers or leaves. Okay. First you take the flowers into the conical flask. Okay. Now fit the rubber cord, what I said previously. Now you must see that 2 holes you must make to this rubber cord. 2 holes you made to the rubber cork. In 2 holes, you must insert one glass tube, and here another glass tube, which are open at both the ends. See that? Okay. At home, how can I do this, miss? You can ask. After this explanation, I'll tell you how you can do, how can you do this experiment at home. Okay. Now let us see the 2 glass tubes. If you fit to the rubber cork, and here one funnel you can put on one of the glass tube, and another tube you must leave empty like this. Okay. First, take a conical flask. What is this? Conical flask. Take a conical flask and drop some flowers or leaves into that, and fix the rubber cork with 2 holes to the mouth of the conical flask. This is a procedure you must write. Understand? And next, after fixing the rubber cork, you must arrange 2 glass tubes like that. To one of the glass tube, you must you must arrange some funnel on the top. Okay. Now another tube you must leave like that. Now to the other end of the tube which I asked to leave, you must put some rubber tube like this. Thin transparent rubber tube. Okay. And now you must make it arrangement to that rubber tube should pass into a test tube. What is that? This is the test tube which I have taken the lime water here. What is that? Lime water. What is that? Lime water. Okay. Now see, into this you must put an arrangement that you should see. You can keep this test tube in one stand like this so that it can hold, of course. Okay, test tube racks will be there, test tube stand will be there in the laboratory if you are doing. Now see, after this test tube we must put on the test tube rack or test tube stand, isn't it? So what is there inside the test tube, children? Lime water. So what is this, miss? Flowers. What is it? Flowers, leaves, and you have taken the lime water. With this, how can you show that plants respired? They take oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. I'll show you within a minute. Okay. So this is the procedure. You should write that take a conical flask and add some flowers and leaves into the conical flask and fix the rubber cord to the mouth of the conical flask with 2 holes leaving for the 2 glass tubes to fit in. Okay. Now to one of the test tube, to one of the glass tube, you should attach, you must keep on the top the funnel, and another glass tube, you must arrange some rubber tube that is passing into the test tube which contains lime water. Now this is the experimental setup. Now what happens? This experiment you should do on daytime or night time. Daytime or night time. Daytime also the plants respires, but night time it will be more effective. Okay, it is more effective during night time. So I night time. Okay? Okay children? Now what happens? Leave the setup like this to the entire night, and in the early morning come and observe the setup. What is the change? Now result. Procedure finished. Now what do you observe? What is the result? What is the inference? Yes, the result is, see the flowers or leaves. So we fitted them, we enclosed them in the flask by fixing rubber cork. Rubber cork means so that it will be fitted very tightly so that no air will escape. Okay? So just I forgot one thing. Before you leave this setup during the night time, I forgot the funnel here, no? You must add some water drop by drop into this conical flask until the flowers are immersed. Okay? Now I forgot to add water. So get it back, put some water through the funnel and fill the conical flask. Okay? Now you should not fill until to the brim, to this level. Okay? So that the tubes may not touch the water or touch the water, no problem. Okay? So by adding the water, now I left my experiment during the entire night to observe the respiration in plants. Okay? Now what happens? What happens? As I observed in the early morning, the plants undergoing respiration. How? See these flowers and leaves, as they are living, they are living organisms. Exchange of gases takes place. Leaves leaves I added, flowers I added. To the flowers and leaves, tomata will be present, lenticels will be present, isn't it? Now through that, exchange of gases takes place so that water is provided, and the gas which these flowers or leaves release will be passed on, see like this, to the tube, through the rubber tube, and where that gas is collected, Nana? Yes, the gas is collected into the test tube which contains lime water, isn't it? Now what is the inference? What is the result or inference? You observe the lime water which we added, will form a thin film-like layer, whitish layer on the surface of the lime water. See this change, after you observe this change, what you can say? What you can infer? Come on, think. Yes. Did you get? I hope you got. See, when does this lime water becomes more milky white? As I said in the previous classes, by the reaction of the carbon dioxide, isn't it? When the carbon dioxide is added to the lime water, limestone or lime water, if the carbon dioxide gas is added, it changes to milky white substance, isn't it? Now, so does this prove that plants respire? Does this prove the plants respire? Undergo respiration or not? Yes, isn't it? How? Because who discovered the carbon dioxide? Who discovered? Joseph Black and von Helmont, isn't it? After 2 decades, oxygen was discovered by Presley and Lavoisier, isn't it? Isn't it? Now, so while discovering how he discovered this carbon dioxide, the invisible gas is escaping in the form of ash from the charcoal dust, isn't it? Charcoal in the form, the weight of the charcoal is not similar to the weight of the ash by the who is it? Joseph Black, von Helmont, isn't it? Joseph Black, he discovered that when the limestone is added with acid, some invisible gas is there which converts that lime water to milky white layer. So what is the gas present here? Carbon dioxide. Now, don't you prove that flower parts, plant parts are releasing some gas? What is that gas? When we exhale, exhale that gas, what? Carbon dioxide, isn't it? We exhale carbon dioxide, we inhale oxygen, isn't it? So oxygen is there in the flowers, and leaves for the photosynthesis, so that after taking that oxygen, they are sending out the carbon dioxide. That sending carbon dioxide is caught through the tube, and we made it to flow here, isn't it? So that it changes to milky white layer. What is it changing? Lime water. So by this we understood that plants also take oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Is it clear, all of you? So like this, plants also will undergo the process of respiration, where exchange of gases takes place through. Okay, so I hope you understood. So the changing of this lime water to milky white, proves that these flowers and leaves we arranged in the conical flask are releasing some gas which we caught into the test tube, that changing this lime water into forming a thin layer on the top of the surface of this lime water called as milky white layer. Okay, so this proves that they are releasing carbon dioxide. So releasing out, exhaling carbon dioxide and inhaling oxygen is nothing but respiration, isn't it? Now, did you understand what is respiration? Did you understand? Now, so if you ask me how to do at home, collect some glass. You will have glass container in your house. Collect and into that some flowers and all. Fix it with a rubber cord tightly. And if you're not having the glass tubes and this test tube and all, so lime water, I'll prefer this another glass which is transparent. Take in that some limestone, whitewash to our house, or if you have whitewash, no problem. Add some water into that, it will become lime water, and take into that glass, and here some leaves and flowers you can. Okay, so instead of these tubes we will not have at home. I want you to put some straws. Straw will be there, no? Plastic straw which we drink coconut water, juices and all. So if you are capable enough to close it tightly and fit into this, so through that, and to one of the straw you can add water, and another straw, and you can fix another straw or small rubber tube if you have, or do it with another straw if it is possible. So you must insert that straw into this glass so that you can observe at home by doing this. Okay. Now in the next video class, I'll come to you with another example by instead of taking these flowers. Okay. Until then, thank you very much.